All right, guys, this is going to be a great video. You don't want to miss this one. As I have my pencil in my hand, I've been doing notes. Thank you to James Francis 6493 for this suggestion. Today we're going to be talking about tolerance. Ooh, okay, this one is a big one. And I know a lot of you probably agree. Ooh, okay, let's just dive right in. So let me start off with, I guess, how I feel about tolerance, and then why I feel about that, and based on the Bible, what does it say about that? Tolerance.
Okay, here we go.
So a lot of times when I think of tolerance nowadays, it means LGBTQ, accepting that, bringing that in. A lot of times I hear that with new ideas, new ideologies, if you want to call it. But essentially, I hear it a lot more with the LGBTQ community and the other letters that happen from that. And yes, I believe in tolerance, but I don't think it's to the same respect that most people, the same description as most people would think. See, when I hear about tolerance and I see people saying, well, you need more tolerance, they're essentially meaning, and this is just what I've seen and heard, that you need to believe and understand and agree with what we say. I don't agree with that. I don't think you have to agree with somebody in order to have tolerance. I don't think you need to believe the same thing as the other person in order to have tolerance. I think we need to have love for that person. I think you still need to have respect for that person as a human being. And me personally, I respect and love that person because it is a soul. It is a soul who is either going to heaven or hell. And I don't want to be that person who's going to drive them even farther away from the gospel and ultimately they go to hell. Now, this is also another thing that people are going to be like, this is not tolerance. Being LGBTQ is sinning. Believing in that is sinning. Because the Bible, and this needs to be I think I'm going to have a part 2 about this, because you guys are going to be like, prove it. God created man and woman, and he created man and woman to biologically be able to come together as one. We all know that. In marriage, and only in marriage. And that's also, I believe, that sex outside of marriage is sinning. Because that is part of the unity, the union. That was part of the marital ceremony. All right, moving on. We're going to get back on track to tolerance. So, even though I believe that is sinning, guys, I also believe pride is sin. Lying is sinning. Stealing is sinning. And a bunch of y'all are like, well, these are just the base moral standards. Well, let's get back to the base moral standards. And amongst those was sex outside of marriage is wrong. And attraction and maybe not necessarily attraction, but giving into those attractions to the same sex or trying to change your body that's not biologically yours is wrong. So now you're probably asking, okay, how is that tolerance? Well, let me get to some Bible verses. The Bible teaches to love your neighbor. And honestly, I believe that the love your neighbor means love the people that's around you. It doesn't just mean just that one person who's next door, who lives next door. We're all living on earth. We're all kind of living next door to a degree. Love your neighbor. Let's start with that. Let's go to Mark 12, 29 through 31. Grab my Bible. And hear me out, guys. Hear me out. So, the most important one, answered Jesus, is this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is like this. Love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. Okay, so essentially he's saying, love me, love the one who created you, who gave you life, who gave breath into your lungs, who sent his son to die for you, to take the punishment that you deserve so that you can live in heaven with him. But also, the second is like it, love the people around you. Love them. He doesn't say love them love them um, unless you don't believe the same things as them. Love them unless they do wrong to you. No, he doesn't say that. He says just straight up, love them as yourself. And you know, guys, we beat up ourselves internally. And we still love ourselves in a sense. You know, we still, we still love ourselves. We still want to be the best we can. And that's why we beat ourselves up. We're like, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not that. Love. Love your neighbor just as you love yourself. And that's something that I got to work on too, guys. I got to work on it. Okay, let's go to another verse. Romans 13, 8 through 10. Romans 13, 8 through 10. And there's so many verses on loving your neighbor, but I'm just going to hit some bullet points because I don't want to go too long and bore you guys because I think there should be a part 2. Romans 13, 8 through 10. Okay. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever loves one another has fulfilled the law, the commandments. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not murder. You shall not steal. You shall not covet. And whatever other commandment there may be are summed up in this one command. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love does not harm a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. Love does not harm a neighbor. Ooh. I think that's pretty inclusive. Even if I don't believe the same things as you do, I don't want harm for you. I want the best for you. And my faith in Jesus and knowing that he is the best for you, and you may not agree with this, but just come at this from my standpoint. Say I were LGBT, say I were trans, and I believed that everybody should be transgender. And I believed that that was the best for them. I would tell you guys. But the problem is, if I say, well, that's the best for you, so obviously you should do it, and so obviously, if you don't agree with me, then I'm going to shove you out of the way. I'm not going to love you. I'm going to cast you out because you're not being inclusive. You're not believing the same thing I'm believing. All that in a bag of chips. Now, I'm not saying that you guys do that. I'm just saying hypothetically, if I were doing that and I did that, that'd be wrong. What I'm saying is I feel this, guys. Like there is something greater. There's something so much better. And I want the absolute best, the absolute, like you to have the most happiness and joy in life. I want you to have the most satisfaction in life, the most love in life. And so if I can tell you about that and how I've been able to get that, why wouldn't I tell you? Why wouldn't I tell you? And why wouldn't I also show you? Okay, so let's move on to the love your enemy part. So there's Romans 12, 17 through 12. Okay. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay," says the Lord. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Okay, now you guys are going to be like, okay, wait, what did you just say about God on Judgment Day? Yeah, guys, there are consequences for our reactions and rejection of God. That's why there's a heaven and a hell. And that's why I'm warning you now. Because I don't want you to go to hell. I don't want you to be judged on Judgment Day and God to be like, no, you rejected me. You rejected what I had for you. You rejected the life I had for you. You rejected everything that is good. So there are consequences to our actions. I'm not gonna stand here and be like, well, I love you, I accept you for who you are, I love you as a human being, all that. But I'm also gonna say, because I love you, I'm gonna warn you. I'm gonna tell you the truth, because that's what a true friend and somebody who does love you, that's what somebody is really gonna do. It's like if somebody sees somebody about to get hit by a truck, they're not gonna just stand there and be like, well, they decided to jump out in the road, so I'm gonna just let them go and do their own thing. No, I'm gonna scream at you and yell at you and even pull you back if I can. There we go. But on the contrary, love your enemy, and if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. And in doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Okay, so you guys are probably gonna be like, okay, what does that mean? Burning coals on his head? That doesn't sound very nice. Well, it's kind of like, when you're treating your sibling wrong or something, and you really want them to yell back at you because okay, well, we've started this fight. So this is like a very vague thing. But the other sibling just keeps treating you nice and is like really loving to you. And it kind of just gets annoying. It kind of gets like, why are they so nice to me? And then you feel guilty a little bit. Like, well, she's been really nice. She's been really loving. She probably didn't deserve that. It's like heaping burning coals on your head. It's like, she didn't even have to say anything to me. I already knew. I already knew that I treated her badly. I already knew that I was trying to provoke her to anger, or provoke her, and try to get her to do an argument. She wasn't giving in, and instead she was loving me. That's annoying. It is annoying. When you really are like wanting a fight, it is annoying when somebody's really nice to you. Okay, let me see if we got one more verse. Okay, one more. Which one did I go to? Okay, Matthew 5:43 through 48. I might have to edit this down so that this is more interesting. Or y'all are just gonna get the raw me, the boring, just sitting here me as you watch me. Wait, I'm just I was gonna say as you watch me flip through my Bible. As you watch me flip. Okay. Okay. Matthew 5:43 through yes. 43 through 48. Okay, you have heard that it is said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, now this is Jesus talking. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Are not even, oh wait, if you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. So it's essentially saying, don't be like your enemies in a sense, because they're going to be nice to their friends. They're going to be nice to the people who treat them right. They're going to be nice to people who agree with everything they say. But the people who don't agree with you or whatever, you cast them out? No. You love everyone equally. I see everyone as a human soul. Oh, can I do one more? Proverbs 24:17. Proverbs 24:17. Stay here. Okay, Proverbs 24:17. Here it is. Do not gloat when your enemy falls. When they stumble, do not let your heart rejoice. Oh my word. I don't want to see people falling into sin. I don't want to see people, and that's what the Bible's saying. Like, when somebody falls, when somebody actually something horrific happens to them, do not rejoice in that. Do not be happy in that. I want everyone to find the love of Jesus, to find the acceptance in Jesus and in the Christian community and in me. And even if you don't believe in that, I still love you. I love you. Okay, guys. That's it for today. I want to hear more suggestions. I want to hear more ideas, more whatever, but we're still gonna have all this in a very respectful manner. And you guys probably heard some things that you did not want to hear, but said it anyway, because I love you. Alright, peace out, you guys. So not gonna lie, the reason I was also really quiet in this video is because I got up and my roommates are still sleeping. So there's a little piece of information if you want it. Trivia with Christina. Wait, that's not trivia, I don't think.